Hi everyone, it's Sintang Mayumi. Today is another collaboration cards with my friends Helen and Cherryl. Instead of stamp set, we are going to use die set, and the die set is from my favorite things called Carpool die set. I already went ahead and die cut everything from scraps of my colored cardstock and adhered the pieces together. These cards are super cute. Let's begin the card process. For my first card, I will be using my favorite things, Builder stamp set. I will stamp my scene on my panel and I stamp it with Versafine Onyx black ink because I will color the background with watercolor. I use my Daniel Smith watercolors to color my scene uh, panel or background. For the sky, I use Cobalt Teal blue, and for the uh, tree and the bushes, I use sap green and undersea green, and for the clouds, I use Moonglow watercolors. After I color the background, I'm going to die cut the panel with one of the die from Elizabeth Craft Designs Dashing Rectangles. I will also die cut my green and black cardstock with Mama Elephant Trio die set. The idea for the road is from my friend Cherryl. She used dies to create or die cut her road, and I thought that's a great idea. So you don't need a road die to cut the road. I'm going to distress the green cardstock a little using Pine Needles Oxide ink. And now we can adhere this green cardstock on the bottom of the die cut panel. So I also die cut the green cardstock with the same die that I used for the background, so it will look seamless, and it has also the dashing piercing on the sides of that cardstock. And I also adhere my road, and now I'm going to um, add some lines. I use the pencil first, so I know exactly where I want to put my white gel pen, and I'm using my T ruler to get straight lines. And now we need a critter or a character that will drive the car. So I have this colored images here from Sassy Club, and that one is called Hey Cutie stamp set. So I colored the images before for the 30-day coloring challenge, and now I'm adding acetate on the back of the car. So I use strong double-sided tape on the back of the car, because if I use the liquid glue it will ooze out, because on the top there it's so thin, so I use the double-sided tape. So I will just cut the excess acetate and we can move on to the next step. And now I can adhere my character behind the steering wheel, and then I will cut the excess paper. Before we adhere our car in front of the panel, let's go ahead and adhere this first on our A2 size top folding card base. Now we can adhere the car on top of the road, and I'm using my tweezer here so I can line that up, and then I can also add my hello sentiment, and that hello sentiment is also from the same stamp set, And for the inside of the card, I also have this character here with the bow, and I will also adhere that in the middle of the inside the card. For my second card, I use the Color Blast die from My Favorite Things, and as you can see here, I already die cut that, and it's ready to go on my panel or my card. And now I'm coloring the sides of uh, my um, card base. There you go. Using Salty Ocean Oxide ink, and I'm just coloring just the sides because it's the middle part will hide that later. And now I'm splashing or splinkering is that a word? Splashing some water on the panel or the card card base. That's a card base right there. So now I'm adhering my rainbow die cut, and then I will cut the excess paper with my scissor. For the images or characters that will ride on the cars, I use the Sassy Club 80s Bears stamp set. And the same thing, I colored these characters during 30-day coloring challenge on Instagram last time. I will add 3 bears in each of the cars, and these ones are like super cute, and it looks like they're going to a party, a birthday party, because the other bear is holding a balloon. So I love this one, and it's so colorful. I really like how I did the background with the rainbow colors. So I'm just adhering them with double-sided tape and a little bit of liquid glue. And I will also, there's a like small images from the stamp set, and I added that in front of the car. I'm going to stamp a sentiment from the stamp set on scrap of paper or cardstock, and I'm going to pop that up with foam tape, and then add that on the upper left corner of the card. And then I will also add happy birthday on the bottom right corner of the card. For the inside of the card, I have leftover of the rainbow die cut, so I'll just add that on the bottom. And I will also add the cloud and the hearts. So that heart is a balloon, so I just remove the bottom part of that to make a heart, and then I will add that next to the cloud, and I will also add the small one next to it. For my third card, I'm going to sketch my background. I could have used the same stamp set that I use uh, on my first card, but there's no fun with that if you use the same thing, you know. So I sketch mine, but what I'm going to use from that stamp set is the flowers and grass. So I'm just going to stamp that on the upper part right there. The panel that I'm using here is 140 pound Strathmore watercolor paper, because again I'm going to color this with my Daniel Smith. And now I'm going over the pencil marks with my micron pen. Then I will erase the pencil marks before we start coloring. To color this background, I use the same colors that I use on my first card. And I use these colors a lot because I really like these colors. And this one here is the sap green. I will go over that upper part later with undersea green. And then for the road, I use the Sodalite genuine watercolor paint. characters that I use for this card is from Kindred Stamps Out of the Bag stamp set and Tree Hugger stamp set. So now I'm cutting a small slit on that part with my craft knife so I can tuck in this tree here, pink tree, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I forgot to color my flowers, so I'm quickly coloring that with my zig markers. I'm not going to color the ones in the middle because that's gonna hide later when we add our characters on the car. So I'm just coloring the ones on the sides. And now we can adhere our trees on the panel. I'm using the glue in the middle part of on the back of these trees. Now I'm going to add my lines on the road, and the same thing that I did on the first card. I have my Teal ruler here and a pencil, so I know exactly where I put my my white gel pen. And this one didn't really show up, it just a little bit, because I don't know, it's probably because it's watercolor, and I think my paper is still wet when I did this, so it's not like showing up really well. Unlike on the first card, they show up really well. It's really opaque. And now I'm adhering the characters behind the car, and I will add that orange guy there and the fish in the bowl. And before I adhere my panel on my A2 size top folding card base, I'm going to cut a little bit on the sides so I can have my white border, so it's smaller than my card base. Now we can adhere this panel on our card base, and we can also adhere our car with the characters. So this scene right here looks like they're going on a vacation. So it looks like that to me, they're going on a vacation. So I really like that. So for the inside of the card, I'm going to stamp this image here on the lower part, and I will color that with my colored pencils. After the coloring is done, I'm going to stamp my sentiment on the right side and add my character on the left side. And then I'm going over with my micron pen with the letters that didn't stamp well. And my super cute cards are complete. I hope you like today's cards as much as I do, and please don't forget to check out my friends' channels to see what they created using the die set. I hope you like today's cards, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.